Ready.
Enter, rejoice, and log in. Enter, rejoice, and log in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and log in. Enter, rejoice, and log in. Enter, rejoice, and log in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and log in.
I wasn't picking my nose, I was just listening.
The chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. It's time now to light your chalice or your candle at home as we say together the words that we say each week at our fellowship.
We light this flame as a symbol of new life, enlightening our way as a symbol of the warmth in every human heart.
Let the lighting of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of hope, of peace, of love. May we share that light with all people.
Good morning. My name is Marie Luna, and I am your Director of Congregational Life. Thank you for welcoming us into your home today. It is good to be together, even in this online format. If you are joining us from another Unitarian Universalist congregation, welcome. If this is your first time visiting the fellowship, I want to extend you a special welcome. I hope that you will reach out to learn more about the fellowship and get connected. One wonderful opportunity is to stay after this service for a special newcomer breakout with me. More information on that at the end of the service. Today's special service is being led and supported by Reverend Christina Leone-Tracy, our Senior Minister, Reverend Leah Angiri, our Associate Minister, Allie Peters, our Intern Minister, Cindy Darling, our Lay Worship Leader, Steve Seek, our Music Director, our wonderful musicians and singers, Kim Hartman, our Director of Religious Education, and Adam Robinson, our AV Tech. Thank you to everyone who made this morning's service possible. This year, we are focusing on growing resilience throughout our worship services at the fellowship. And right now, we are beginning the theme of flourishing. We hope that each of us is able to grow and flourish in this community that we have cultivated together. It is now time to settle into your space, wherever you are, to take a deep breath and be present to this time together, even from afar.
May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be one. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be one. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be one.
But I don't want to go to bed.
I know, Rocket, but you need your rest.
No, I don't. I can stay up and get more things done.
Rocket, shh. You might feel like you can get more done, but you've really been burning it at both ends. Yes, you have, and I'm really worried about you. Rest is really important for you, for your body, and for everyone around you.
I can't take time to sleep. There's so much to do.
Rocket, all of that can wait. It's more important to take care of yourself.
But I'm not tired.
Come here, Rocket. Shh. Okay.
Hi, Kim.
Allie. Shh.
What's going on?
Rocket, the raccoon is finally sleeping. It took him forever to fall asleep. He just would not settle down.
Oh.
Yeah, he wanted to keep doing stuff. He's been really busy with his work, social media, meetings with the Ringtail Club. Did you know that he just took on being club president last month? You cannot imagine the emails, the texts, posting on Facebook, keeping up with his Instagram. Something has got to give here, but he's just really running himself ragged.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Rest is such an important thing. And now that he's getting some, he'll probably feel a lot better and actually be able to get more done.
Right. You're right. He keeps arguing with me and telling me that if he doesn't raid the garbage cans, who will? Who will raid the gardens if he doesn't do it? And he complains that it takes so much time to get to the pond to wash his hands every time afterwards. That I just don't understand everything that needs to get done. But I do know that he needs to slow down and find some time to relax. He's just up to his ears right now. I mean, look at him. Look at him. He has huge dark circles around his eyes.
Oh gosh, I know it must feel so overwhelming and that it seems like there's so much to do. But if he's got nothing left to give, he can't truly be helpful to anyone. Not until he takes care of himself. Not until he's kind to himself.
You're right. And rest is important just because it doesn't need to be about charging up to do more things or being helpful to others. We just all deserve rest.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And that makes me think of all the wisdom that's in the Jewish practice of the Sabbath, a day of rest. Today, there's many people who don't participate in a Sabbath, but it's a wise practice, and there's a lot of people who do participate. We need real moments of rest, of reflection, time to imagine, and time to just be. And we need to make a practice of it, just like we make time for all the areas that seem important to us in life. Resting time allows for what is really important.
For sure, Allie. And Rocket's not alone in this. We all need to learn how to rest. And I hope that we can remember that.
Yeah. Maybe we should let him sleep.
Good idea. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Find a stillness, hold a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
Our first reading comes from the Catholic monk, poet, and writer Thomas Merton. There is a pervasive form of contemporary violence to which the idealist most easily succumbs: activism and overwork. The rush and pressure of modern life are a form, perhaps the most common form, of its innate violence. To allow oneself to be carried away by a multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone and everything, is to succumb to violence. The frenzy of our activism neutralizes our work for peace. It destroys our own inner capacity for peace. It destroys the fruitfulness of our own work because it kills the root of inner wisdom, which makes life fruitful.
Our second reading is A Call to Rest from the Nat Bishop Tricia Hersey. This is Things to Do When Grief is Concerned.
Call Walgreens Pharmacy and wait on hold for 20 minutes to place an order for a prescription. Be delighted when the pharmacy tech answers. She is so sweet and pleasant. We are both overwhelmed. Pray, rest. Smile when you hear the US mail truck drive near your house. Rest.
Build an altar with the bathtub as the base. Pour warm water, Epsom salt, eucalyptus, lavender oil. Baptize yourself daily. Mourn in the water. Uplift your privilege in having clean water and oils. Rest.
Reminisce about the time when you were a child at church and you counted your mother hug 40 people between Sunday school and the dismissal of the 11 a.m. service. Long for hugs. Rest.
Cry for no particular reason. Realize mid-cry there are so many particular reasons. Rest. Stare out of every window at trees. Examine the sky. Give thanks for deep daydreaming. Rest.
Embrace the feeling of being out of control for 15 minutes. Feel your body free fall into a cloud of care. Diagram this moment. Archive it for the future. Rest.
Rest. Deep rest. Slower movements, slower moments. Focus on things with intense study. The way my hands move while washing the dishes. The smell of cocoa butter. How my cat's stomach moves up and down while he naps for 10 hours a day. Become a vessel for stillness, a miracle walking. Nap. Rest. Come, let us worship and rest together.
Come, sleep, and with thy sweetest sleep We that suffer long and loyal are contented with our thought through an idle fancy wrought. But at my choice has some abiding. Oh, let my joys have some abiding.
Yeah, so we're going to be short staffed forever. So if you could just work yourself to death, that'd be great. This meme, referencing the classic 1990 comedy movie Office Space, is a joke. But I bet many of us can relate to this idea of working frantically hard, doing the work of multiple people with no end in sight. This meme speaks to the fact that our society favors the kind of capitalism that can lead to us being defined by our work and the title we hold. Not to mention the fact that our worth is often determined by our productivity. The meme becomes a lot less funny as we realize the truth of it. In our society, where this form of capitalism is favored, there is an ever-present need to be productive, to do. There is always more to do. There is an understanding to not, quote, waste time. There is even a saying about not allowing us to sit and do nothing. An idle mind is the devil's workshop, and idle hands his tools. At what point do we get to just be? To do nothing, to rest, maybe even take it as far as taking a nap. My cats sleep all day. They are experts at napping. Felines know how to rest, and they are perfect models for this important behavior. For a cat, the big move in a day is to get up, stretch, maybe bat a toy around for a bit, annoy another cat, go grab a bite to eat, or head down to the litter box. They might do all of those things during one of their brief moments of alertness, and after that, it's either back to the lap of the human they just left or off to a different spot to engage in more nap time. Even when these lovely creatures are not napping, they tend to be in a state of rest. There is calm to them as they lope into the kitchen for a snack or move to a new location to snooze. Not to say cats don't have their active moments. It is not unusual for one to jump out from behind the couch and attack one of the others. Those moments are loud and full of intensity, loud growls and hissing, leaving us humans to wonder how no one ever comes out of those fights with scratches or bite marks. Moments after the hair-flying fight, they slink off to their spots and are soon snuggled in, looking ridiculously comfortable, as cats do. And they are once again off to dreamland within moments. Because cats are experts at rest. With these models of rest living in my home, I have slowly come to learn the value of rest. This newly found value is in stark contrast to the demands of capitalism. Instead of being rewarded for making healthy choices and including rest in our day, We are made to feel our calendar needs to be full at all times and that we need to always be doing something. And if we can do it with very little sleep, even better. Why are we impressed by that? A cat certainly wouldn't be impressed by that. I still don't sleep the best, but I have learned to rest. I have stopped getting out of bed to do something just because I'm awake. I have learned the importance of being. When I wake up too early to get up, I make the conscious choice to stay in bed. The idea is to allow my eyes, my body, even my mind to simply rest, to do nothing. I start by doing a simple body scan, checking in with each body part, noticing what I notice, making no adjustments nor any judgments. Next, I begin to focus on my breath, counting my inhales and exhales. This strategy soothes me, and it keeps difficult thoughts away. Thoughts that would likely send me down the rabbit hole of thinking, problem solving, self-judgment, and all the tangents that entails. My goal is to not engage any of these thoughts, but rather let them float past like interesting cloud formations. As I move further into my resting state, I feel calm. I let the counting trail off. There are so many more ways to rest and so many more opportunities to be busy. In this rushed world of productivity, it is clear that resting is a privileged state. Being able to stop the noise, to sit still, and allow peace to enter our exhausted bodies is a gift that we must each find a way to give ourselves, even if it's only for a few moments before we start the car.
Today is Mother's Day. It is for sure a day filled to the brim with a wide range of complex feelings. For those of you who have complicated or hard relationships with mothers or caregivers, for those of you who are grieving a mother who is estranged or no longer alive, for those of you who long to become parents or who are grieving infertility or the loss of a child, know that we honor you and this complexity today. I was someone who always wanted children. I knew from a young age that I wanted to be a mom, but that my journey would be different than many people's journey to parenthood. I knew that adoption would likely be the way that I would create a family. And throughout my 20s, I watched my friends and my cousins have children, and I felt all the feelings about that. Happiness for them, certainly, but also fear, jealousy, anger at my own situation. The adoption of my 2 boys has been the most precious gift that I could possibly receive. And I am eternally grateful for the chance to be a mother. And so I say this with a lot of awareness of my privilege. Holy moly, I am tired. I knew that newborns don't sleep well. I knew to expect sleepless nights and fatigue when they were babies, but I was not totally prepared for the non-stop exhaustion that would come with being a parent, even beyond the baby years, especially this past year. Holy moly is right. This past year, as a full-time parent and a full-time worker, during a worldwide pandemic with almost no options for support, the family, the friends, the community that we rely on to come and share the workload of caring for kids, during the pandemic, that village disappeared. And wow, it was hard. My heart goes out particularly to single parents. I don't know how you did it. During the height of the pandemic, it felt like our world was divided between people with too much time on their hands and those longing for any time at all. I have so much empathy for those who were lonely this year, who longed for the touch of another person, who felt bored and tried to fill their days with activity. I can only imagine how hard that was. But if you had children at home this past year, that was not your experience at all. It was a whole different kind of struggle. Too much touch, no alone time, no time to get things done. It wasn't worse or better. It was just a different kind of struggle. Now, I saw this meme recently, and it made me laugh. Here it goes. It says, "It seems unfair that the people who want to go to bed have to put to bed the people who don't want to go to bed." Now, ain't that the truth? It feels like a glitch in our evolutionary system that those of us who have less energy are required to care for and keep safe those who have more energy. We need rest. Whether you're working outside the home or not, whether you are volunteering for various organizations or not, whether you are parenting or caregiving for children or not, we all need rest. Now, I've always been a person who enjoys sleep. Even when I was a kid, I didn't really mind going to bed. I'm incredibly lucky that sleep usually cooperates with me. I don't have too much trouble going or staying to sleep. I have, however, throughout my life struggled with restful sleep. I toss and turn. Sometimes I talk or laugh. I get up occasionally and do things while I'm still asleep. So I wake up more often than not feeling more tired than I was when I went to bed. The comedian Mitch Hedberg had a joke about the stress of sleeping and dreaming. He said, "I hate dreaming because I just want to sleep. I'm fast asleep, and the next thing you know, I gotta go build a go-kart with my ex-landlord." That joke feels all too true for me. I just want to sleep. I don't want to work so hard. But that first part, when you crawl under the covers, allow gravity to pull on my weight, to settle my head in my pillow, I love that part. Our bodies need rest. We are mortal, physical beings. We cannot do it all. We cannot survive at the pace of life that our society deems successful. The Reverend Sarah Lawal recently wrote about the need for rest. She wrote, quote, "Our culture does not revere rest. Our culture reveres work, productivity, outcomes, results, benchmarks, strategies, growth, targets, profit. Even in the nonprofit sector, all of this is true, minus the profit. We live, she writes, in an extractive system designed for this purpose, to take labor for the sake of goods and consumption and profit. Even in what our society might deem the noble professions, even those who find their work meaningful and fulfilling are not exempt from the cultural messaging and pressure. End quote. This cultural push to go, 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 do, is part of the very foundations of our society. Thomas Edison spoke of the burden of sleep. Though it was a waste of time, and he bragged about needing only 4 hours, despite being well known and apparently well photographed for taking power naps. Benjamin Franklin wrote, "How much more than necessary do we spend in sleep, forgetting that the sleeping fox catches no poultry, and that there will be sleeping enough in the grave." And the dehumanization of enslaved people was accomplished in part by the denial of appropriate rest. It was this realization and others that led Tricia Hersey to found the NAP ministry. Hersey was on the edge of burnout while in seminary at Emory University, and she began napping as a way to cope. She began to research the neuroscience behind sleep and rest, and she dug into the stories of her African ancestors, realizing that her ability to rest was something that they had not been given. It was a privilege, and she intended to use it and to teach others to use it as a form of radical resistance. Rest as an anti-oppressive act. She began hosting public naps, spaces with mats and pillows and a tea station and dim lights, a space where people would join together for an hour of reflection and rest, an hour of permission to nap, the same way that they might go to the gym or any other appointment. And thus, the NAP ministry was born. And Hersey calls herself the NAP bishop. The NAP bishop says, quote, "This is not just about naps. It's about trying to disrupt and dismantle a toxic system that says you're not enough. Our extractive economic system wants to use anyone's body as a tool for production. It wants you to work 100 hours a week if you can." She continues, "Rest is not something you need to earn. When I want to lay down and take a nap, that's a calling. I should listen to my divine body and wash away the concept that I should have to feel guilt or shame about it. It's toxic and not true." I love that she says that so clearly. It's toxic and not true. Think for a moment to yourself. Think, even if you like to nap or rest, even if you have the time to do so, think about the messages in our world and whether or not you really believe deep down that rest is a right for you and for everyone. That you deserve to be able to rest. That taking a nap instead of doing that thing does not make you a less worthy person. When I allow myself to truly sit with these questions, to contemplate the messages that I have internalized about rest, I have to admit that even though I love naps, there's a part of me that feels guilty. That when I have to say no to worthy sounding opportunities, and there are so many, so that I can keep my workload to a reasonable level, I feel some shame. Am I not hardworking enough? Am I lazy? I would never label other people that way. I encourage our staff team to take time off regularly. But when I do it, and I do it, I feel that tug of so much to be done. And the other siren call of rest is when we begin to attach goals to the rest itself. If I just rest a bit, I will be able to be a better mom. I will be able to focus more on my work if I can take a day off. These things are true. We are all more present and less cranky when we rest. But we need not rest to be better at working. We need to rest because we are human and we need it. The reading that we heard earlier from Thomas Merton talks about this impulse when it comes to activism, to social justice work. He says, quote, "The rush and pressure of modern life are a form, perhaps the most common form, of its innate violence. To allow oneself to be carried away by a multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone and everything, is to succumb to violence." Thomas Merton is not mincing words. Violence is a strong way to describe this tendency, this insistence from our world that we do. But he's not wrong. It is harming our bodies. It's harming our spirits and the very fabric of our society when we are unable to have any moments of leisure or enough moments for connection and shared experiences. May Day was last week, and here in this country, it usually passes with almost no notice, even though it originated in Chicago. The anniversary of the proclamation from the precursor to the American Federation of Labor that the workday shall be 8 hours, beginning May 1st, 1886. This statement flew in the face of common labor practice at the time, with workdays 12 to 15 hours long in squalid and dangerous conditions. Mass strikes and worker walkouts around the nation followed the proclamation, hundreds of thousands of workers demanding a more reasonable workday, one that allowed for rest. Police cracked down hard on these walkouts and protests, and months later, as they continued, violence led to trumped-up charges against several protesters who were eventually hung for their crimes. The efforts of so many, the injuries and deaths of so many who fought for the ability for each of us to have time for work, time for rest, and time for what we will, reminds me that this is not some elitist goal. The need for rest is a universal human need, and it is, as Nat Bishop Tricia Hersey says, when I want to lay down and take a nap, that's a calling. Follow that calling, friends. Consider ways to incorporate moments of rest, if not hour-long naps, into your day and into your week. 5-minute meditations at your desk, or a few minutes locked alone in the bathroom away from your children where you can run your hands under warm water. This Mother's Day, I encourage you to join me for a moment of reflection and meditation. Get comfortable wherever you are. Close your eyes if you feel safe doing that. Now imagine the ideal mother, whatever that is or feels like to you. Maybe this person that you're imagining is your own mother or another caregiver that you had of any gender, someone you felt safe with. Or maybe you need to imagine this person. Maybe you're imagining a goddess or God. Or maybe you need to make up a person entirely in your mind. The ultimate caregiver, calm and loving. Now I want to imagine this person cradling you in their arms, rocking you, rubbing your back, singing your favorite song to you. What would this person want for you, this ideal, loving caregiver? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they want you to have comfort, love, and ease. That they want you to be exceedingly gentle with yourself because they love you. Be gentle. Be gentle. Rest, dear ones. Rest because it's anti-oppressive and countercultural to do that. Rest because it's the best way to recharge and enjoy your days. Rest because you are a human being and you deserve it. Rest. May it be so. And amen.
Slow down, child, slow down. Slow down and listen to the wind. All comes together, all falls apart, forming anew your beating heart. Slow down, child, slow down. Slow down and draw yourself near. The rocks are your keepers. Tell them your stories. Now it is safe to be here. A river flows from within you to where you will go. The current carries you home. Let your life unfold. Slow down, child, slow down. Slow down and you will receive. Life wants to meet you where you are, not where you think you should be. A river flows from within you to where you will go. The current carries you home. Let your life unfold. Slow down, child, slow child, slow down, 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 child, slow down. Slow down and listen to the wind. All comes together, all falls apart, forming anew your beating heart.
The Universalist ancestors who contributed to the Unitarian Universalism of our present moment insisted that the only way any of us might be able to truly flourish is by finding a way to thrive together, in concert with one another's joys and concerns. We honor this legacy by transforming it into practice, into the ritual of sharing our individual joys and concerns, sorrows and celebrations, so that we might know and care for one another as our community moves toward resilience. Connection is always available. If you would like to share whatever is on your mind or in your heart, you can type your joy and concern into the chat box now. We will hold space with you and for you as we worship. If you would like us to include your news in our weekly care email that goes out to members and friends who have asked to receive it, you may email me or you can fill out our website form. I'm going to drop that information into the chat box now. After our service, a member of the care team will host a breakout room for anyone who would like to process their life's joy or concern, or anything that might be especially poignant for you in life right now. You can hear more instructions about how to join this breakout room during our closing words, but please know everyone is cordially invited. And I always welcome you to be in touch if you would like to connect with me or you'd like to be connected with a member of our wonderful care team. Now, some silence.
And we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give, we have our thoughts to receive, and we believe that sharing is an answer.
This month, we're focusing on flourishing. And so now as we take part in our morning offering, it is a time to imagine a flourishing of generosity. What would that flourishing look like? What would it feel like? What would it mean to have abundance in spirit and in resources? We invite you into that contemplation of flourishing and invite you to make it real. We know that there are always those among us who are in need. Please, we are here to help. It is why the fellowship exists, to be here for you when you need us. Please don't hesitate to reach out to Reverend Christina, Reverend Leah, or to Allie if you are in need of financial or emotional support so that they can help you. We want to also honor that there are those among us with resources to share and abundance to offer. Our community is gathering virtually, but our expenses are real. If you have never donated to the fellowship or haven't in a while, please do so that our ministries might be able to continue to flourish for the months and years to come. As you hear these words from one of our members, Dana Johnson, think about why you are a part of the fellowship and why you give. And then, please do. Thank you.
Hi there, Dana Johnson here, and I just wanted to give a little bit of reflection of why I continue to support the fellowship, why it's so important that we stay engaged even in these crazy pandemic times, and just helping to keep each other safe, healing, and staying connected. I love this fellowship because of the fact that people are non-judgmental. When there's times that we're not sure what to say, we ask the right questions so we know how to make people more comfortable. I love the fact that we're embracing major concepts of social justice and change and really supporting each other and taking action. And those are things I need because there's people around me that maybe aren't taking those steps or aren't being able to support me in those ways. And I'm finding more connection rather than division. So I miss all of you being in person, but being on Zoom has at least kept me connected in a way that I never would have thought possible. And I'm so glad to see all of your faces. I'm so glad to see your videos. And for those of us that are able to offer that singing piece or chalice lighting or whatever that is, those are things I look forward to every week. So I love you all at the fellowship. I'm excited to continue to see you every Sunday, no matter how long we might be via our internet and Zoom. And just remember, we're all in this together, and we're better off when we're together. So stay healthy, stay strong, always reach out to me and other people at the fellowship if you just need someone to help lift you up for the day. Take care.
As we come to the end of our service, we will extinguish our chalice flame, even as we still hold its light in our hearts.
As we extinguish the flame, let us go our ways with hope in our hearts, with our spirits renewed, and with a deeper understanding of life's mystery. Let us carry the light of compassion and commitment to build a better world.
After our closing words, we will have small breakout groups for conversation. In a moment, we will hear a short postlude song. And if you do not wish to participate in any small group conversation, then please use that postlude music time to log off and to leave this Zoom meeting. If you do choose to stay, you will be invited to choose your own breakout group here on Zoom. One option will be for newcomers to join our Director of Congregational Life, Marie Luna, in a special newcomer group. One option will be to join someone from our care team if you would like to share more personally and deeply about whatever is on your heart. And one group will be led by Cindy Darling, focused on the power of rest and how we might claim more of it in our lives. And then another group will be led by Reverend Christina about the spiritual practice of rest and resistance. And one final group will be just for informal, unmoderated chit-chat. If you have any trouble selecting your group, just stay here and we will do our best to help you in a minute. And with that, go in resilience, growing in strength, go in flourishing, opening up to beauty and joy, go in peace, knowing that we embrace each other even now from a distance.